Over 60% of those formerly incarcerated remain unemployed a full year after their release. And of those who do find employment, they're likely to earn 40% less than before their incarceration. Let's take a look at some efforts to help these individuals reach their full economic potential. Nicole, what is a local reentry council?
It's a very good question. Local reentry councils are really an opportunity for communities to think about reentry and working with citizens who are coming back to their communities, who are justice involved, or have a criminal record, and need assistance. These basic challenges that we're talking about, housing, employment, transportation, even educational attainment. The local reentry councils are bringing different stakeholders together, whether it's local government, service providers, state government, together to say we need to do something in our communities, and we need to galvanize our efforts to allow folks that opportunity to be prosperous and to move forward and to address some of these barriers that are holding them back.
And so the challenges you articulated are varied. How many people come together to support a local reentry council?
A number. It really depends on that community. It depends on those stakeholders. But ideally, we're bringing together our local community colleges. We're bringing together service providers, advocates who have been working with individuals, those who have resources that can be useful to the transition process. And those folks come together and organize and say, we want to do something to help our neighbors be in a better position as they transition home, or those who are already in the community and still looking for a job, and their criminal record is keeping them back from getting a good paying living wage job. So the councils are made up of a number of different diverse groups to help with that.
So Daniel, what's the value add of these reentry councils? I mean, these entities already exist to support residents. What do they do differently because they come together as a council?
You know, it's meant to both sort of ease access to available resources by being a one-stop shop where you can plug in and understand and get access to housing and employment and government benefits, but also you can, they're also meant to act as advocates. And so that is a key reform, as Nicole said, to have leaders in the community speak out on these issues and identify holes in those services and try to fill them locally. And then if they can't fill them locally, to lift that message up to state leaders to say, here's the additional resources that are essential and should be given to these individuals, but are just not available locally. And so, you know, just the people they've brought together have, I think, not only worked locally, but what I've been most excited about is them lifting up their voices across the state, and especially the role of impacted people in those councils. Several are actually led by people who have been in prison.
So let me get Vanessa in here, because you're really focused on getting people back to their economic potential. What do you see as the value add of these local reentry councils?
Well, working from the Department of Commerce's stance, the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. It almost takes a community to help someone to reacclimate and reintegrate into society. And so commerce, of course, is focused on the employment, but what we've learned as we're trying to be employed, not everyone is ready or equipped because of those other criminogenic needs, such as the substance abuse or the mental health or the housing and the transportation. So to just give them a job application or a job referral when they're not ready is not helpful, and it's not good for that business, nor is it good for the individual who's trying to make the change. So the value of these reentry councils, which we appreciate the partnership with Nicole Sullivan and her team, is to pull the community together. And as a regional person, we can see sometimes the need is already recognized. A faith-based person, or someone in the career center, or even a justice-involved individual sees the need and comes together and has that conversation, and then we can contact DPS and say, hey, come alongside of us and show where we need to go from here.